video, I'm going to explain H parameters. H stands for hybrid parameters. So why it is called as hybrid parameters means we are expressing input side voltage and output side current. Okay. In Z parameters, we are expressing V1 and V2. Voltages are expressed in terms of current. In admittance parameters, Y parameters, currents are expressed in terms of voltages. In T parameters, input side voltage and input side current are expressed in terms of output side voltage and output side current. But in the hybrid parameters, input side voltage and output side current are expressed in terms of input current and output voltage. Okay. And writing, you should write first input side first. Input side voltage V1 you have to write first. Don't write I2 here. V1 you have to write first, then I2 here, and that is expressed in terms of I1 and V2. Again, don't mistake writing V2 first. First preference you give for input side. So V1 is equal to V1 right here, V2 you write here. Again, I1 and V2. No, in this one, input side is I1. So first write I1, V2. So V1 is equal to H11 I1 plus H12 V2. Second one is I2 is equal to H21 I1 and H22 V2. So how to find anybody? You can find the H11 parameters. In order to find H11, this part should not be there. Okay, this part should not be there. So H11 is equal to V1 I1. So to make V2 is equal to 0, you have to short circuit the output terminal. When you short circuit output terminal, so V2 is equal to 0. Then when you make V2 is equal to 0, H11 is equal to V1 by I1. It is a ratio of voltage by current. So it is a impedance. H11 is a input side impedance because input side voltage by input side current. Similarly, when V2 is equal to 0, H21 is I2 by I1. Output side current by input side current. So it is actually forward current gain because output output current by input current is a forward current gain I2 by I1 and it has no unit, but H11 as a unit it is a ohms. And this is actually we are using in IH parameters are used in the BJT also, hybrid parameters in BJT. Okay, common emitter configuration. I already calculated HFE, HIE, HF, HRE, HOE. No, that is from this hybrid parameters only. So now, in order to find H12 and H22, this should be 0. What is this? I1. I1 is equal to 0 when the I1 is belongs to the input side. I1 belongs to the input side in the two-port network. You refer my previous videos, Z parameters. I'm explaining in detail. So while explaining in Z parameters, in order to make I1 is equal to 0, input side you have to open. When you make input side open, I1 becomes 0, so that these two terms become 0. Then H12 is equal to V1 by V2. It is a ratio of voltage by voltage. It is a reverse voltage gain. Similarly, H22 is I2 by V2. I2 is a current, it's V2 is a voltage, so it is admittance. Okay, so you can find these four variables. So in the question, in the exam, they are going to ask you define H parameters. So first step, you have to explain in H parameter what is expressed as what. So V1 and I2 are expressed in terms of I1 and V2. Write two equations. How to find H11, H12, H21, H22? You have to explain this. Okay, when V2 is equal to 0, that means on output terminal is short circuit, V2 becomes 0. Two parameters you can find out. H11, it is a ratio of V1 by I1. So it is voltage by current. It is short circuit input impedance. Its unit is ohms. When Vt is equal to 0, one more parameter, H21 is I2 by I1. It is output current by input current and it is forward current gain. Like in HFE, forward HFE means current gain beta in transistor. So this is forward current gain. So it's no unit because current by current, no unit. Similarly, when I1 is equal to 0, when the input terminals are open circuited, H12, H12 is V1 by V2. Okay, V1 by V. When I1 is equal to 0, H12 is V1 by V2. So it is a voltage by voltage, but it is input by output. It is a reverse voltage gain. Okay, it is a reverse voltage gain. and it has no unit. It's a reverse voltage gain. Similarly, H22 is equal to I2 by V2. I2 and V2 belongs to the output side. Output current by output voltage. So it is output admittance because both belongs to the output side. Okay. So how to write a model for this? Like in a transistor, BJT, HFE, for common emitter configuration, all of you are already writing HIE, HFE, this is HFE, this is HIE, this is HOE, and this is HIE. Uh, you see what you're writing there. So this is actually input impedance, no HIE. Okay, the H11 is input impedance. It is a dependent source whose value depends on V2 here, output voltage. Okay, H12 V2, it is a dependent voltage source. This is actually input side. You remember this input side 1 is there, output side 2 parallel are there because voltages are added in series. This voltage is H11 I1. This is already voltage source. So if I write KVL for this, we will get two terms. And for current, current can be added only in the parallel. So first current is H22 V2. Another current is a dependent current source whose value is H21 I1. Okay, I1 is here. So this is a model for H parameters. So this is very important, easy. They will ask define some parameters. If you remember this table, you refer first video where two port parameters are explained with every for every parameters you need to write this diagram two port network. For your syllabus, Z parameter is there, Y parameter is there, transmission parameters are ABCD parameter is there, hybrid parameter is there. So inverse transmission and inverse hybrid is not there. So you have to remember only this table. Okay. If you remember, immediately you can tell how to make current is equal to 0, open circuit. How to make voltage is equal to 0, short circuit. That's all. After that, you can find another two variables. So in the two-port network, four input side and output side are there. Four variables, four variables are V1, I1, input side, V2, I2, output side. Out of these four, two can be expressed in terms of remaining two. So there are six combinations are there. That is four combination two. You are going to get six different combinations. So out of six combination, four combinations are there for your syllabus. So if you remember, if you make any mistake here, writing I1 and I2 or V1 and V2, that will give you entire wrong answer. So writing these equations also you should remember properly. Okay, thank you.